technologies involved in enhancing performance have all been really key in terms of athletes really pushing the boundaries.
The wheelchair is a massive part of the performance. When I started, it was a four-wheeler race chair that was box standard really. Now some companies are using carbon fibre or half and half. I use half the frame as carbon fibre and some of it's aluminium as well. Using aircraft aluminium so it's strong and light. So I use a lighter tyre on the track that you couldn't use on the road because you'd get a puncture. You don't want too much friction on the track, you know. Rubber and rubber is probably not the best two to go together, you know, but you want a very light tyre with hardly any tread. It's that balance that you have to get right.
Physics impacts everything we do really from a sporting perspective, and every athlete needs to kind of almost defy physics to a certain extent. Air resistance, friction, your rate of force development needs to be as maximal as possible to give the power output that you need.
Clothing and equipment is very important for any triathlete. Having the right shoes, helmets can actually make a big difference. Wetsuits, bike, everything from the wheels to the handlebars are aerodynamic now.
Sportsmen and women are far more aware of technologies around footwear and being able to put force through the ground and the types of friction involved in the footwear and its response to the ground and the surface that you're actually physically playing on. And for an athlete like Beth Tweddle in gymnastics, friction and her reaction with the bar is very, very important.
We use a substance called chalk. Basically, if you've got sweaty hands, especially on beam, it just takes that sweat away from it. It allows more grit.
The world of engineering and sport colliding is really great in terms of the advances that you can gain from it. 3D modelling is a great scientific gain for an athlete and for a Formula One car. It means that you can put them in a wind tunnel and really assess how that reacts to the air resistance that you will incur from a certain type of race or an environment, and then you can see how efficient that car is or that wheelchair in order to enhance performance. Technology now in sport today provides a really important different angle to be able to assess or analyse performance. In the last few years, Premier League players, a lot of clubs and a lot of teams have been using global positioning systems, and it gives you an idea of the accelerations, the decelerations, the change of direction, and what you're hoping to do is train the athletes optimally for performance on a match day.
I've got a GPS heart rate monitor. It registers speed, average speed, inclines as well, and downhills, and wind as well, and heart rate. It's just a good way to monitor your average heart rate for the session. The sports science guys, they analyse it a lot after training sessions. They've got an app on their phone where they can download it straight away, and they send me the results later on that day and say this is good, that's not too good.
Out training with the GPS we use, heart rate monitor we use, just to make sure that our training can be absolutely perfect.
Unfortunately, leading into the Olympics, I had quite a bad injury. I had to have my knee operated 100 days before the Games. And there was one piece of equipment that I could use to help my recovery. It was a contraption that I put on my leg, and then every half hour it expanded and had ice in it. So it was basically just ice in my leg rather than just putting ice straight onto my knee. Because it was compressing at the same time, it had a better effect. Had I not had that ice machine technology, I don't think I would have even made it to the Olympics in 2012.
To have the best equipment, you've only got these small marginal gains in wheelchair racing. It can be, a race could be split by a millimetre, you know, or less. And if you can get that 1% gain from a slightly better tyre, a slightly aerodynamic helmet, these are the gains that we need to win.